Classes in session, college basketball, hitting the book show Monday, March the 2nd. This is, I guess, our first show of March, the month of college basketball. So it is a great time to be doing the Hitting the Books college basketball show. Conference tournaments. We even have one getting underway tonight, the Horizon League. Throughout the week, more conference tournaments starting. And, of course, still some regular season basketball, wrapping up the final week of that. Great time of year. Ian Cameron, Connor Mack with you, ready to break down this Monday college basketball slate. We'll just get right to the games, the two big games, obviously. They're, of course, ESPN, their Monday doubleheader. And I'm going to be brief because I don't have anything real strong on either of the two games, quite honestly. We'll start with Duke and NC State. Duke, 9.5-point road favorites, 150.5 the total in this game. Now, Duke, I'm done fading Duke. I actually took Virginia, and I had a great Saturday, but I did take Virginia plus the points against Duke. Bad call. Duke was just too good. Once again, defensively, phenomenal, shutting down the Cavaliers most of that game, and they end up winning pretty comfortably by double digits. Duke's back in that zone again. We know what they did on the road at Notre Dame last week. Absolutely destroyed Notre Dame, which, by the way, beat NC State at home on Saturday, early action. In the afternoon on Saturday. I don't trust NC State enough to take them. I don't. I think there's some problems with this team. You know, Will Wade's come unglued a couple of times with some of the recent performances from his team. Yeah, they go into scoring droughts. They're not particularly reliable defensively. There's really not one thing that NC State's doing at a very high level right now, and that's going to get you potentially crushed tonight by Duke if you play that way again. But there is one concern with taking Duke in this spot. You know, they do have a massive revenge game coming up this Saturday at home at Cameron Indoor against North Carolina, the only team in conference play to beat Duke on that Seth Trimble game winner at the buzzer. You know, the last time they played at Chapel Hill. And, of course, North Carolina, one of only two teams all season to have beaten the Duke Blue Devils. So, like I said, that's a huge, huge game coming up for Duke. Are they a little distracted? Do we get full focus from the Blue Devils? Even if we don't, I mean, I don't know if NC State's good enough to even keep within single digits right now of this Duke team. So it's really a game I have zero interest betting, at least from a side perspective. Totals-wise, the total's been bet up. I would say if you like the over, take Duke team total over. I don't know if I fully trust NC State. You know, with some of the scattershot performances offensively, if they're going to make hay against this Duke team, which can absolutely tighten it up defensively when they're on. C-Mac, what do you think here for this first game of the ESPN Big Monday doubleheader, Duke, NC State?
Yeah, do you want to go against Duke? You talked about the losses with NC State, just the OT loss to Notre Dame, and Duke just blew them out. I mean, NC State's lost 4 of 5. They looked horrible. Before that, they lost by 30 to Virginia, at Virginia. But you got to think, like, one thing with this spot, like you talked about with Duke, is that, you know, and why this game keeps it. I'm shocked the total's moving up. I think that kind of helps NC State saying they're going to score. The threes they shoot might drop here. Because, yeah, Duke's defense, when they want to play, has been that good pretty much all year long. Game in and game out. One of the best defenses out there, I think this Duke team's really been. And they kind of go at their pace that they want to. So, but with NC State, like, this is such a – with Duke, you talked about with North Carolina playing, I don't know what, I think in 4 days or something like that. The 6th or 7th is that game that they had that. But still, this is a rivalry. You know, I mean, here a little bit. Duke, NC State's never easy for Duke to go in there and win, and it just seems downtrodden. Kind of how they played the last few games. NC State should be 13-point dogs here, right? Not 9.5. These Mondays and Fridays we talk about, like, only game in town. Like, there's just a lot of focus to these spots. We see it a little. We talk about college football, you know, with kind of a weekday game, only thing going, spotlight a team at home. And I know no one wants to go against Duke. I'm not crazy here either, but I think NC State is in this game flat out. I really think they can hang around. It won't be easy. They're going to have to hit the shots. If they don't, it'll be a real struggle. So they're showing that they are, because I'm a little shocked this is move up now to 151. That means, I mean, Duke could have their way and score easily. You talked about NC State's defense that has been very good. Like, what goes here in this game? Like, is 151 kind of enough here? It hasn't really budged off that. It's come back down to 150 and a half, 150. Because for the most part, I've just been on Duke unders, and I've been cashing them.
Yeah, absolutely.
For the most part. I mean, they put up 100 against Notre Dame. But other than that, this team has been an under machine, and I've been taking them. And I think the under here is the play, that this is just a little bit too high. And I lean NC State. I might have a small play on that. Kind of like, or you gave me 500 free play. I take fucking NC State. That. And I like this Duke team. For a Duke hater, too, with me, traditionally, it's crazy. They've been kind of that good. And you know why?
Yep.
Because I've been betting on them and winning on them. Yep. That's all I care about. In the past, usually this team couldn't ever cover. They're sloppy. Good
in these bigger favorites roles.
Oh yeah,
eviscerating most of their opponents. Yep.
Yeah. So great game though. I think we'll see. Circle the wagons spot. Yeah. Is this huge for Duke too? This game?
Yeah. Yeah,
I think they're a little
that's a major distraction. North Carolina, when you play your most hated rival on the planet and a team that beat you in such heartbreaking fashion the first time, you can't help but maybe have one eye toward that. So that's my concern here with Duke in this spot, with getting that North Carolina game on deck. But again, if they play the way they have lately, I think they will win by double digits tonight. But again, that look ahead potential, does loom large. All right, the second game tonight on ESPN, this is the better game. This should hopefully be a pretty good game. Iowa State, Arizona, two of the better teams in the Big 12. Arizona, 7.5 point home favorites. Actually, 7 now in most spots. 149.5 the total here in this game. Arizona coming off, obviously, a very impressive beatdown over Kansas on Saturday. Looking to make it back-to-back home wins here in conference play. And that was a good spot for Arizona. I laid the points with Arizona, had the team total over for Arizona. We talked about this on the Friday show. I thought it was a good get-back game for Arizona, facing a Kansas team that ended their undefeated season. Remember, it was Kansas that beat them. For the first team to beat Arizona this year was Kansas. So Kansas is the team that ended their undefeated season. So you knew Arizona was going to be chomping at the bit. They were. They came out strong. They kind of let Kansas back into the game early second half, but then they tightened it up again and pulled away for a double-digit win against Kansas. I don't feel as strong about Arizona tonight. I don't. I think they certainly could win this game and cover this number, and they're certainly at this point, I think, better. They've shown me a little bit more current form-wise than Iowa State to make me think they could win and cover here in this game. Meanwhile, Iowa State was as disappointing as it gets. I mean, that's a Texas Tech team with and maybe we should just be giving Grant McCasland a lot more credit. My goodness, Texas Tech, these 3 games without JT Toppin.
Oh, yeah, shit.
Holy shit, what a coach.
Hold on to that ticket.
Yeah, it's not dead yet. Not dead yet,
Texas
Tech, the tournament and Final Four tickets. I still think it's going to be difficult, but you have to give Grant McCasland all the credit for keeping his guys believing, saying, hey, we're still a damn good basketball team. Let's not panic. Let's not, doubt ourselves just because JT Toppin's a hell of a player. But, let's not just, go crazy thinking, doom and gloom here. I mean, what an impressive win for Texas Tech, although it is a pretty bad look for Iowa State. They've been so good at home, and 9.5 point home favorite. They not only lose, but they lose wire to wire and lose by 9. Like the game wasn't even really competitive, for most of that game. The good news for Iowa State is they've been good at when they've been punched in the mouth. They've had a good job responding this year. If you look, they lost to Cincinnati. They beat down UCF in their next game by 30. They lost to TCU. They came back home. They beat Kansas by 18. They lost at BYU by 10 on the road. They came back and they beat Utah on the road by 16. So Iowa State's been good here in Big 12 playoff, a loss, bouncing back. And we did see Texas Tech, who of course beat Iowa State Saturday, take Arizona here at the McHale Center in Tucson, take them into overtime in that game. So we know Arizona, and they didn't cover against BYU at home, Arizona as well. The recent time they were home favorites, they were double digits. They only won by single digits in that game. If you were to ask me, I'm not betting this side pregame. Not betting anything pregame. And same with the last game. Duke NC State, 2 words, live betting. Same thing with this game for me. Live betting. We're going to see how this game plays out and go from there. But I'll tell you right now, if you were to say, Ian, you got a chance to place a free bet, which side would you take? I think I would lean more to Iowa State at +7, 7.5. I just feel like that was such a bad game for them against Texas Tech that you almost have to slap yourself into a response here and be ready to go from the opening tip. Now, it's concerning that Koa Pete just came back for Arizona, and now you think of him being back for the great freshman from that absence, and now all of a sudden you put him with Jaden Bradley and you put him with Steven Del Orso and all these the big guy down low as well for Arizona, who's been very solid for them. And all of a sudden, you've got a formidable group that you're going to have to deal with, healthy again. And we saw what they did against Kansas, very capable of winning this by double digits too. But I don't know. I can't. Otzelberger's a pretty good coach too, not just Tommy Lloyd in this matchup. And I've got to think Iowa State's got a better effort in them and a better showing in them. They're better than what we saw against Texas Tech on Saturday. And even though this is on the road, it's a tough place to play. I'm leaning with the points here. Cyclones plus the 7.5 here. C-Mac, what do you think here in this one? Iowa State, Arizona.
Shout out to the chat. Everyone in here. Justin, my guy. Billy Brisbane. What up, what up? Willie Beeman. Willie Beeman. He's on the team. And shout out to Gorko with a couple donos. My guy. Appreciate it.
Yeah, Gorky.
He likes Iowa State.
Appreciate it.
Money line, Duke.
Money line,
Iowa
State. Wow. Oh.
Hell yeah. I love it. I love it. NJ Striker at Bugatti. Jorge Herrera, as always. Mark, what's going on, my dude? Great to see you. Yeah, I love Duke. Love, of course. Duke. Justin, you like NC State? All right. We'll see. Duke's just been rolling. Let's get to this game, though. I think Iowa State plays better, too. One thing, this team's been hit and miss on the road, I think, a little bit. Yeah. So far off, kind of a bad shooting night. Arizona didn't shoot it crazy. Arizona went to that free throw line in that game, man, 40 times almost watching that Kansas game.
That's the problem, too. Like, where is Iowa State's good road performance in the Big 12 against a good team? I haven't seen one yet. So that's my biggest. That's why I'm hesitant to back them. That's the exact reason, C-Mac, why I'm hesitant to back them. They have not shown me one really good performance on the road in the Big 12 against a team worth a damn. Not one.
Yeah. So if you like them a little bit, I think first half would be it. Like, if they're going to be in it, and we see these swings. We were just talking about before we came on, half to half here in college basketball.
Yes.
Man, it's like totally different games. Different teams. It's like, what the fuck is going on the floor? Like, just 20 minutes ago, it's a totally different team. And it's a whole different one. So 3.5 first half. I think, they have the shooters on the floor. We know this team with Iowa State, both teams. Of course, both these teams are loaded, but they have a little bit better shooting day here. So I lean in them first half. I'd taking the 3.5. I think they could hang around. There's even a 4 out here at the West Gate, a couple of 4s. So I think if you like it, it might be early in this game because I think the longer it goes, Arizona could kind of maybe pull away. But yeah, great game. And this is another one. We don't have a ton look live like you already talked about. And we bring that up, especially on these smaller cards all the time. Kind of these focus spots that you'd be ready to hit the live button, hit the button, drop of a hat. You're right. You know what I mean? Because I wait, dude, in these games are so quick. You just wait 20 seconds on top of it. It's like, fuck, because basketball happens that quick and runs happen that quick.
No doubt. By the way, it's as we move along now to the rest of the card and the plays that I like here on the other games, it's a Big Sky night because this is the last night of the regular season in the Big Sky before they start the Big Sky Conference Tournament, which I think is going to begin later this week or this weekend. Starch Madness is what they call the Big Sky Tournament. Starch Madness. Because all the farmland out there with all these teams, Montanas and Colorados and Idaho's and all these states out there. That's why it's Starch Madness, the Big Sky. But lots of Big Sky tonight. I'll throw out a couple. I know I saw CMAC earlier today post a Twitter post or earlier today play on one of the Big Sky games. The Lumberjacks, I think it was, of Northern Arizona. I'm leaning that way too, but gosh, they're so freaking terrible, this team lately.
I know. And you get 6.5. I got a 6 this morning. Yeah. Sometime I thought it might go down to 5.5.
It's not the best spot in the world. No, Montana State's the much better team, but it's not the best spot in the world for Montana State tonight in that game. I mean, and you got to think, I'm some freaking pride, man. Northern Arizona, Mad Dog Russo, Chris Russo, who does the legendary radio host and is on First Take on Wednesdays. His son is an assistant coach for Northern Arizona. Maybe we got to get some new assistants in there.
Yeah, no shit. Well, they're at home here. Final game of the year. Yeah. It hasn't been a very good year for them. And we're in the spot where they've been a little bit better here is at home. Montana State beat them January 3rd, 77-68. If they're just not consistent, if they could shoot it well, and they're off a couple bad losses, especially just at Eastern Washington. So I just think you get full effort here, final game, for them at home.
Just hang in there. Just compete. Yeah, exactly. Just compete if you're Northern Arizona. I like over in Montana, Northern Colorado. I think I like Northern Colorado's team total a little bit too. I mean, I'd rather do that. I like Northern Colorado. I'd rather the team total, though, than the -5.5. Against Montana. I was on Montana Saturday. I took them against Portland State. I thought it was a good spot there, but I think this time around I'm going to bite the hand that fed me. I took Montana Saturday, and I'm going against them here tonight on the road in Greeley. I love that. Greeley, Colorado there, taking on Northern Colorado. Eastern Washington, I like. This team's just red hot. And they've been cashing left and right. I don't see that changing here tonight. So the Eagles, Eastern Washington, I did a split, -3, team total over 76.5 for Eastern Washington here tonight against Idaho. I kind of lean Weber. Portland State, to me, I know they've had a great season, but they're starting to leak some oil here late. I mean, they look like they're running out of steam a bit. They're, ready for the conference tournament to get here. I'm not ready to lay 4.5. It is their final home regular season game, but I played Weber there a little bit, +4.5, 5. Over for me with Sacramento State. We talked about the Sacramento State overs, quite a bit this season. So I'm on that with their game against
home overs too.
Especially
they're off and under too.
Yeah.
Saturday.
Yeah, they've been a good over team, but you're right, even more on the home court. They've been an over team, no question. So I like that in that game. The Horizon League play-in game. Well, before we get into the Horizon League play-in game here, IU Indianapolis, and you know what? We'll save that for the end because conference tournaments. Okay. That's what we'll do. We'll do the conference tournament stuff at the end of the show because to me that's the best stuff. I'm telling you what, I'm way more into any conference tournament game from a viewing standpoint than watching the regular season this week. I can guarantee you, I'm going to be watching more conference tournament basketball this week than the regular season stuff because these guys are playing for their, to get into the dance. That's all. That means everything, So I'm definitely tuned in viewing wise more to the conference tournament. So we'll save IU Indianapolis, Cleveland State for the end. The added board, I actually like the added board tonight. There's definitely a few spots I like. Northwestern State plus the points, the over as well with them in Rio Grande Valley. I think we could see some points there in that game. I agree with the move up in the total a little bit there in that game. Howard's been destroying teams. It's a big
crazy.
I don't know if you can stand in front of them right now, the Howard Bison, with just how dominant they've been. Kind of like NC Central as a small dog. I like it. By the way, A&M Corpus Christi, they're laying 7.5 against a horrendous East Texas A&M team. East Texas A&M's bad. Corpus Christi has a ton of upperclassmen. Many of their players are seniors. It's, final home game is usually senior night, so that could matter for Corpus Christi tonight. I like Texas A&M Corpus Christi there, laying the 7.5. And the one, and I know CMAX targeted this team a couple times as far as betting against them, and it's worked out well on occasion. Even I'm joining the party tonight. It's too many points. We're going against McNeese State tonight. I really like Nichols.
Oh, yeah. I'm on Nichols.
10.5.
I haven't faded him in a while, too.
Yes. That's
McNeese,
right.
so.
Yes.
Today's the night.
McNeese State, don't look now. Back-to-back games where they've been laying these big double-digit numbers, and back-to-back games coming into tonight they have not covered. They've been single-digit wins for McNeese State. They're overvalued right now. That's all there is to it. And Nichols beat them last year at home when they played McNeese State. And they're 3-1 against the spread, Nichols, against McNeese head-to-head. They're 4-1 ATS overall in their last 5 games, Nichols. So they've been covering numbers of late as well, this team. The Colonels. So give me the Colonels here. Nichols State, 10 and a halves are still out there in some spots. So I like that. It's probably my favorite look on the added board. What do you think here, CMAC, for this extra board?
Shout out to the chat, everyone. Justin, my guy. Shout out to becoming a member. We appreciate you. Appreciate all you guys, the members in the green.
Yes.
Hit us up if we haven't touched on a game. We're going to hit basically most of these. There'll be a couple that we don't. Just hit us the questions as always, especially all the members. Any questions for you guys? We appreciate it. Become a member if you haven't. Or Wednesday, Friday shows. And they'll get even better here in this month. You know what I mean, man?
Yep.
Hockey's back too. Everything is
it's a great
rolling.
month. It's a glorious month if you're a sports fan or sports better. 100%.
Glorious. Yeah, let's get to the extra board like you talked about right away here. And yeah, I'm on Nichols here. They got blasted too, I think, earlier in the year to McNeese, which has always been a problem for them. They've been playing a little bit better. I'll get to another game. McNeese needs to win this. If Stephen F. Austin loses, I don't think they do. Both teams are playing for some. Nichols, if they could win it, outright win it, they could get into playing like a 8 or 9 seed.
Yeah, I think they improved their seeding big time, Nichols. So
yeah,
Nichols
they improve it up.
The line here, yes.
They got something. I mean, I don't love this team. They still horrible defensively, and a bunch of their metrics aren't very good. But at home here, I think they can hang. And this is the spots a lot. Yeah, you talked about McNeese just with New Orleans, and there's just been on the road for them 1 or 2 where they've had that blowout type game. But other than that, it's just not a struggle for them because this team, as good as they kind of are defensively in their conference, they aren't offensively. This team is not great, McNeese, offensively.
Yeah.
But it works for who they're playing against here. Especially in the last few months. Still, I don't think they are great. They don't shoot it well either. So I'm on that one there. This is a lean for me, Lamar Houston. I thought it's right borderline for the under in this game. I think it was just a little bit too low. It's at 133, 132.5. But I looked at it on the under. My other favorite, this was my best bet. I got it last night. I got this number early this morning. It just bounced a little bit. I got 145. I still think it's okay here at 143.5. It's the best number still out there that you can get. Stephen F. Austin, incarnate word. Just said Stephen F. Austin needs to win, but I don't think it's going to be a crazy amount. Very workmanlike, incarnate word, super slow. This team play, in the 320s. They're not going to play quick at all. And this is the line I have right around like 139. So still at 143.5 value. And also that is my best bet. We'll get to it in a minute, but that my favorite under on the board. What's this mention? Howard's just smashing these. I'm just going to stay off here. Howard's just killing these teams. Like Morgan State was playing the best basketball. Like I look at Morgan State today. Norfolk took the money. It's moved to 3.5. And they shot the ball so bad. That was just dead right away. They couldn't hit a shot to save their fucking life on Saturday. Nothing. And that line bounced to 11. It was one of these weird ones. Because, we talk about college basketball all the time. And you don't for sure. But I look at the money, what's going each way, and, public, dog. And it's just less for me in college basketball. I thought that line went down to 8 by about an hour before. So I'm like, geez, it's a small game. I know there's some big money, everything that I was looking at with Morgan State. And they couldn't hit a shot and got their ass drilled. I mean, they shot like 20-something%. Were horrible. I think they could play better here today. Look out. I just think they shoot it better. So Morgan State plus 3.5, I think could be live. Air at home. They just, man, what a horrible game. You mentioned Howard just rolling against anyone and everyone. 20-point favorites today. Or 19.5 against Coppin. So let's get to the last few in here. Chris Warren.
You talked about not being able to make a shot to save your life. That was me with
Yeah.
Paul Marquette over, and I had to watch Marquette play yesterday. Oh my God, you
Oh,
talk
Marquette was awful.
awful, man. Absolutely terrible. The reason I was on the over, it was 9 of the last 10 head-to-head game meetings with DePaul and Marquette were overs going into that yesterday. And I'm like, boy,
Yeah,
I'm
not
going to ride
yesterday.
that, and didn't even have a chance. Did not even have a chance. That over there with DePaul and Marquette yesterday in Big East action. Um,
Let me hit you here before I get it. I'm also frozen. Give me 1 sec. I'll hit this though. Sacramento State. This line's flipped to Idaho State. Final game for Sacramento State. You mentioned the over, but I think they're live to win. They haven't been playing very good as of late. They had that string, but they played way better at home. I think they could win there. You can get money line plus 100. Eastern Washington. I don't want a full game. Wow, this finally moved. This is sat all day. Opens 3, 2.5. Basically, and we're finally seeing some 3s, 3.5s. I think it's finally moving because this is all Eastern Washington loving this game. But I took a first half, -1.5, even money.
Yeah.
I like how they're playing at home. I think they get it done there. And that's it. We hit on Northern Arizona earlier. So I had a 6 or 6.5 out there. I think they can hang around. We'll see. They have been awful. I haven't bet them much this year. So I need the Lumberjacks in this game. All right, you want to hit the Cleveland State? Let me bounce out and bounce back in here.
Yeah, no doubt. Not only that, but I want to get your thoughts, CMAC, and I'm going to throw some out too on the futures for the Horizon League tournament as well, because we can bet conference tournament futures. They're available at DraftKings, FanDuel, Bet360, all these books. They've got the futures posted for this tournament. Wright State, the favorite at around plus 200. Robert Morris in the plus 250 range. Oakland plus 400 to 450. And then you've got the longer shots: Green Bay, Detroit, Mercy, Northern. I never usually say Mercy. I just say Detroit. Green Bay, Detroit, Northern Kentucky, 10-1, 15-1 range. Youngstown State closer to 20-1, and then you've got Purdue, Fort Wayne, Milwaukee, IU, Indianapolis, Cleveland State, 45-1 or worse. We got to mention this because the tournament starts tonight, the Horizon League tournament. This is historically a conference tournament where upsets happen. Lower seeds win. Number 1 seeds and chalk doesn't always prevail in the Horizon League. Now, the last 2 years have been different. The last 2 years, the number 1 seed has won the Horizon League tournament. But before that, this conference in particular, their conference tournament was known for upsets where chaos happens. Lower seeds make a deep run and in some cases win this conference tournament. So this is one conference where I don't mind one bit taking some shots, some longer shots here. I would try to beat the favorite, Wright State, or even Robert Morris. I mean, I think Robert Morris has got a really solid team. They're one of the teams that plays defense in this conference. So I would, if you're going to take one of the two favorites, I would take Robert Morris, not Wright State. I really like the way they've been able to defend here down the stretch. If you want some longer shots, start with Oakland. Greg Campy. All this guy does is he's been here forever. He always seems to have his team go on a run in this conference tournament, regardless of what they do during the regular season. So Oakland, I start to get interested, as one of a team in that plus 450, 500 range. Detroit, to me, is playing really well down the stretch. The Detroit Titans, they're 10-12-1 in that range in my mind. So I'm looking at it as a situation where I think Detroit has certainly got a shot here in this conference. I like the price. I like the way they're playing right now. Well, now it's funny. I mentioned Oakland, liking them, as a little bit of a longer shot to win the Horizon League. They play Northern Kentucky in their first round game. Northern Kentucky's a dangerous opponent. So what I'm probably going to do is I've got Oakland already in pocket. If Northern Kentucky were to beat them, Northern Kentucky could be a team that makes a run, but first they've got to get past Oakland. I don't think they will. I think Campy and Oakland will win that game. But if Northern Kentucky were to win that, I think they'd be a dangerous team maybe to make a run. So that's probably what I'll do. I will add Northern Kentucky as a future if they get past Oakland, which is a big if. Everybody after that, like Youngstown State, too inconsistent for me. And at times, defense kind of comes and goes. Purdue, Fort Wayne, Milwaukee's had a disappointing season. I mean, I like Bart Lundy. I think he's a pretty good coach. his team's just been very disappointing this year. I didn't expect Milwaukee to be like this, near the bottom of the Horizon League. And I think you're setting your money on fire if you're taking IU Indianapolis or Cleveland State, to win this tournament. I don't think either one of them are. So, I think as far as this particular Horizon League, Oakland is probably my favorite as far as Oakland and Detroit. Oakland and Detroit are probably the two teams I like most from a value standpoint. Again, we're talking value standpoint. We're talking teams that could upset the apple cart, lower seeds that could make a run in this tournament, because this is historically a conference where upsets happen and the number one seed in the chalk does not always run the table here in the Horizon League. So no question, I'm looking at those two teams. And how do you not want to sprinkle CMAC? Greg Campy as well as I do. This guy's been here forever. It doesn't matter what the hell Oakland's done in the regular season. I never care one bit about, is Oakland playing great going into the conference tournament, or are they playing terrible going into the conference tournament? Doesn't matter to me, because I find that this guy, Greg Campy, gets his teams to play and play well in the conference tournament and make a bit of a run. They don't win it every year, but they make a run in it. And at the price you're getting with Oakland, I think they're always worth a sprinkle, especially when you can get up to plus 500 here for them to win this conference tournament. But CMAC, is there anything futures-wise that you like for the Horizon?
No. I'm gonna have maybe a few with it. And you know what? The best thing is seeing how a team just kind of advances and maybe go from there. Yeah. To take them, or just if you think they're going to run, you just roll with them from game to game. But there's a couple of the other conferences that are coming up that I'll be on. I mean, these are always so good. Missouri Valley, I think it's pretty good one.
I'll have some opinions on that conference, and we'll
go through that. Yeah.
Yep.
Like, there's just open ones. The Sun Belt. Yep. I just wide open with a bunch that could be a good. The MEAC conference we love, MAC, all those teams in there. I mean, talk about a toss-up. Mount St. Mary, St. Peter's, Siena, Marist. Who wins? Merrimack. I mean, I think there could be a bunch. So there could be some long shots that for conference in the next couple of days. We'll kind of roll through them too as these start going. But yeah, nothing for me here in the Horizon.
The only thing I'll add about the game tonight, IU Indianapolis, Cleveland State, is you couldn't beg me to bet the side in this game, because I don't think either team is trustworthy. Cleveland State's on a losing streak. What is it, 7 or 8 games in a row they've lost? IU Indianapolis has one road win in conference play. One. So you want to back IU Indianapolis, IU Indy on the road? No. Do I want to bet Cleveland State at all right now? 7-game losing streak? No. So what do I want in this game? Well, now I'm going to take a deflated total, because I knew they'd pound this thing under, right? Because people just assume 172.5, total's too high, defense is going to be better. It's a conference tournament game, win or go home type of thing. But these teams don't play any defense. Neither one. IU Indy, they both play extremely fast. 2 of the fastest paced teams, an average possession length in the Horizon League. So I knew this was going to happen. I said there will be some under money, because people will just say conference tournaments, things tighten up a little bit. And now instead of 172.5, we've got 168.5. So it's gone down 4 points now. So I'm taking over 168.5 at the better number now. That's the only thing I got in this game.
I got nothing. I bet Cleveland State probably wins today. I talked about how bad that second half was. I think the game was tied at halftime. Yeah. And they were catching 13 points and still didn't cover. They've been that bad on both sides of the ball, too. It just seems like when one's working, they're scoring. They can't play defense. It's been awful for them. And then when they're playing defense, they can't score in some of these games. So, you know what I think in this conference? I like how Green Bay's been playing. I just don't know if I could take them pre-flop. You know what I mean?
You notice I did not mention Green Bay as one of my favorites. I've still got to see it from Gottlieb. I do. I know.
That's how I feel. But I like how they've been playing of late. And I've been on them 3 or 4 times here in the last 2 weeks. But I think you look at a team like, just because the value is so big, like Northern Kentucky, 15-1, or Youngstown, 17-1, something like that. If you want to take a flyer in a conference like this, that could win it.
Yeah.
Milwaukee's a huge number. I don't think they could win, but damn.
Yeah. Well, they've been so disappointing, but
I know they've been horrible.
They could all of a sudden they flip a switch, they find it, they get hot at the right time, and they want to run too. But they've been so bad for so long. Really hard to see it. Oakland and Detroit, like I said, those are my
Okay.
two favorite, little longer shots here in this conference. Shout out to the chat, Gold Juke, Chris Warren, Old Man, Hasty, Justin McKelvey, Dimitri Mamo, Gorky, Rich. We
Oracle.
appreciate it.
Appreciate it,
Oracle.
Dono.
Appreciate the dono as well. Billy Briz. Good to see Billy Briz. Been too long. And Jay Stryker. Benny in the chat. FB Gotti, Jorge Herrera, Mark A. Appreciate everyone joining us. All right, it's time to wrap it up. I think you already mentioned your best bet, C-Mac. It's an under, right?
I'll hit it again. It's an under. Yeah, Willie Beam, where you at? One of these days you got to get up on here. My guy, Billy Briz, it's been too long. Or a few of you guys should come on here and talk about college basketball, especially now. We're in March.
Yes.
Yeah, under. It's 145. That's what I got. So that's my bet. Under. Stephen F. Austin, Incarnate Word. There's 143.5. Still think it goes under. Under. Best bet. Let's keep them rolling. The best bet.
Go. All right, my best bet. I'm going added board for best bet today. Honestly, I like it more than anything on the main board. Give me Nicholls State. You can still find some 10.5s out there.
Hell yeah.
Against McNeese State. I think it's a close, competitive game. Give me Nicholls State plus 10.5 against McNeese State for my best bet here for this Monday. 6-0 with best bets on the Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday shows combined for CMAC and I last week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday with college basketball. We went 6-0 with best bets. Hopefully we got an encore coming up starting tonight. Thanks to everyone tuning in. Hit the like button. We're back with you tomorrow. For Connor Mack, I'm Ian Cameron. Enjoy the games and good luck. Have a great Monday night, and we will see you tomorrow, Tuesday, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, for another edition of the College Basketball Hitting the Book Show. Until then, class dismissed.
Peace.